The Las Vegas Aces came to New York. I made sure you got to hear from so many of them. Locked on Women's Basketball, Las Vegas Aces edition starts now.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi there, everybody. Happy Wednesday and welcome to Locked On Women's Basketball. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. You can subscribe over on our YouTube channel or anywhere podcasts are found. And make sure you are following all the work we are doing over at thenexthoops.com. We cover all 12 WNBA teams. We cover college. We cover EuroLeague. We cover every area of women's basketball, past, present, and future. Thenexthoops.com. You can subscribe for $9 a month, $72 a year. It all goes towards building a 24/7, 365 women's basketball newsroom. So come be a part of it. Locked On Women's Basketball is the daily ability to hear from the people that we're interviewing, the people we're talking to, and our incredible staff as well. And this is no different. So we're going to talk to Becky Hammon, who is the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces, of course, and talk to A'ja Wilson and Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young. Now, we're going to talk about a few different things, and I think it's important that we contextualize it. The Las Vegas Aces are right there in the running for a top overall seed. They have certainly a clear as day opportunity to be a top 4 seed and host a first round playoff series as well. But the Aces are top heavy. They are. And it's just a fact. Skylar Diggins-Smith leads the WNBA in minutes per game at 34.5, but right there below is Jackie Young at 34.3 and Kelsey Plum at 34. In fact, this is par for the course. Of the 25 highest minutes per game totals in the WNBA, 5 of them are Las Vegas Aces. You got Jackie Young at 1, Jackie Young at 3, Jackie Young at 2, Kelsey Plum at 3, but not alone. A'ja Wilson is at 20, Chelsea Gray is at 22, and Dearica Hamby is at 25. Now, there are good reasons for it, and we're going to get into it as we hear from Becky Hammon, who knows how this works. She is no stranger to load management. She comes from San Antonio. She went to the University of Popovich. But let's hear what she had to say about it after last night's 105-101 victory for the Aces over the New York Liberty. Then we'll be back to chat a little bit more, and we're going to get into talking from the players' perspective as well. I'm Howard Megdal. This is Locked On Women's Basketball.
Good half of basketball for us, bad first half for them, and then you just flip the script. And they put together a heck of a second half. So give them credit, making good adjustments. And once again, my team has to figure out how we're going to take a hit and maintain hits without losing all control. Figure out how to stop the bleeding so it doesn't turn into a landslide. After that, will say, like, down the stretch, I thought my team executed well and made free throws, big free throws on the road. That's never easy. So that's some progress for us, actually, if you've been watching any of our games. So was pleased with how they executed down the stretch offensively.
Howard? Becky, when you look at this team's minutes played, I'm just wondering how you navigate. Obviously, this is a team where I think 5 of the top 26 in the league in minutes played come from this team. Are you concerned about it? Is it something that you're going to look to maybe dial back over, let's say, the last month of the season, going into the playoffs? I'm just wondering sort of how you think of it holistically.
Well, it's something we always keep our eye on, but Kelsey and Jackie can go for days. They just can. So after that, there's only so many minutes. Bay, I think we got to she played an important role for us tonight, provided good minutes, but we still got to get her cooking a little bit offensively to where she can find her spots. But, she's still finding her timing when she's going to get shots and whatnot. But obviously she's a key part of the rotation. And then Ileana, she's a young player. She just turned 21. So she's going to have nights maybe where I just need more juice at that spot, more shooting. She's definitely a different look than Dearica. And then I thought Kia was solid. Kia's been solid. So we continue to build our bench out. They will get more minutes. It's just hard to take people off the floor when you have a couple people rolling. Like I thought Kelsey was rolling, and it's hard to just take her out when she's just hit a few. Even though I would like to get her some rest. And Jackie's just Mrs. Steady out there and brings a calm to the group that's really needed in some of these situations.
Hey, Coach, what necessarily did you do? I mean, we all saw Nescu came hot like the last few minutes of the game, but going into halftime, nobody I've ever seen do this, keep Howard and Nescu combined together in the 10 points. And you shut Nescu down for most of the game. You could even see mentally she was frustrated. What did you do to create that frustration?
Well, we tried to make her give it up. So that's always frustrating when you're used to having the ball in your hands all the time. What gets you out of it is when you start giving up layups out of the blitzes. And I thought even in the first half, they had a couple cuts to the basket with space players and got us sucked in, got a couple nice looks that way. And so we tried to clean it up a little bit. Some of those shots at the end, I mean, those are like Steph Curry type shots, just somebody in your grill and they make shots. Finally, I was able to communicate to have, Dearica shadow her a little bit, or otherwise she would have made the last one too. But we did a boxing one, we mixed it up and I think that's the key with any great players. You just got to mix up looks and try to keep them off balance. Clearly we did that for about 3 quarters. And then she just went crazy on us at the end. And I can't say it was terrible defense. I mean, there was somebody there. She just made shots. So you get to the point where you're just like, okay, anybody but her, shoot it. And they make it, they miss it. So we'll go back and look at it, look at areas we can improve. And then it was Whitcomb in the third. I mean, just a barrage of threes. And so they get a couple people cooking like that. It's hard not to overreact because they're just drilling 3 after 3 after 3. So my team's probably tired of me saying it, but we have to be self-adjusting at times. When somebody comes in, hits 2, they shouldn't be able to get off 3, 4, 5 without us just self-adjusting. You're a basketball player, figure it out. So, you take care of her and then the other one heats up, and that's not even considering Johannes, who is lightning in a bottle. So they're extremely dangerous. They share it, they move it, and they got some people that can get hot on you. So really good test for my team. The third quarter is the one that bothers me. The fourth quarter doesn't bother me as much. But the third quarter, how we came out, I could feel it the first play I just felt it coming. So again, we'll go back, look and see where we can clean some things up for our team.
Everybody, as you can hear, Coach is losing her voice a little bit. I want to be cognizant of the fact there's going to be 10,000 screaming children in here on Thursday, and she's going to have to project. So maybe 1 or 2 more, make them good. Pressure.
You alluded to this a little bit earlier. But what about Jackie's personality makes her such a good crunch time for free throw shooter as player?
First of all, I think she's a worker, so she's put in the work, so she has supreme confidence at the end of the game. So she's put in the work to be able to have that confidence in herself. She's big, she's strong. She is typically not turnover prone, so I wanted it in her hands. And even then, when they bring a double team, she's strong with it. But we got to continue to play the right way. And I thought, since we were in transition defense the whole time, because we couldn't score on the one end, that obviously puts a strain on your defense. But she's somebody who's typically, has the toughest assignment defensively. And then obviously we call on her to do a lot of things for us offensively too.
Andy, let's throw to you for the last one.
Yeah, Becky, this felt like the first time this season that a team has really put you guys on the line and said beat us from there. What did you kind of see from the composure from your team, especially shooting free throws today?
I don't think they were wanting to foul us. I don't think that's what their money was. We just attacked. They really just crawled. What happened was they got super aggressive on us, crawled into us, and got us back on our heels. And eventually, when they finally calmed down, spaced out, now you can attack pressure. And we were able to get to the line because they can't pressure you like that and keep you off the free throw line. It's really hard to do, to pressure somebody like that and not foul them when they put the ball on the floor. So a lot of times they were switching 1 through 5. And I thought we got more composure again down the stretch. We just rolled Asia in, let her get fouled, get in the bonus. And then, of course, knock down free throws. And thank God we did, because we were struggling to score any other way.
Thanks a lot, Coach. We'll rest your voice. We'll be back with Asia, Jackie.
Thank you.
Tea was funny, Becky.
Is that?
Tea was funny, is that the plan?
The Las Vegas Aces came to New York. I made sure you got to hear from so many of them. Locked On Women's Basketball, Las Vegas Aces edition starts now.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi there, everybody. Happy Wednesday and welcome to Locked On Women's Basketball. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. You can subscribe over on our YouTube channel or anywhere podcasts are found. And make sure you are following all the work we are doing over at thenexthoops.com. We cover all 12 WNBA teams. We cover college. We cover EuroLeague. We cover every area of women's basketball, past, present, and future. Thenexthoops.com. You can subscribe for $9 a month, $72 a year. It all goes towards building a 24/7, 365 women's basketball newsroom. So come be a part of it. Locked On Women's Basketball is the daily ability to hear from the people that we're interviewing, the people we're talking to, and our incredible staff as well. And this is no different. So we're going to talk to Becky Hammon, who is the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces, of course. We're going to talk to Asia Wilson and Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young. Now, we're going to talk about a few different things, and I think it's important that we contextualize it. The Las Vegas Aces are right there in the running for a top overall seed. They have certainly a clear as day opportunity to be a top 4 seed and host a first-round playoff series as well. But the Aces are top-heavy. They are. And it's just a fact. Skylar Diggins-Smith leads the WNBA in minutes per game at 34.5, but right there below is Jackie Young at 34.3 and Kelsey Plum at 34. In fact, this is par for the course. Of the 25 highest minutes per game totals in the WNBA, 5 of them are Las Vegas Aces. You got Jackie Young at 1, Jackie Young at 3, Jackie Young at 2, Kelsey Plum at 3, but not alone. Asia Wilson is at 20, Chelsea Gray is at 22, and Dearica Hamby is at 25. Now, there are good reasons for it, and we're going to get into it as we hear from Becky Hammon, who knows how this works. She is no stranger to load management. She comes from San Antonio. She went to the University of Popovich. But let's hear what she had to say about it after last night's 105-101 victory for the Aces over the New York Liberty. Then we'll be back to chat a little bit more, and we're going to get into talking from the players' perspective as well. I'm Howard Megdal. This is Locked On Women's Basketball.
Before you do that.
I'm trying to get
Shouldn't
paid.
be so hurry.
Even tone.
Degree.
Jackie, give me slide over.
These are Quay sunglasses.
I think it's called Key, but you go ahead.
Key.
Yeah, I think it's called Key. Because Sweetie gave me some pairs and she was like, it's Key.
All right, does anybody else
Well,
have
now you
anything
say
they want to
key.
try and get a contract out of, or?
Well, let's do Mountain Valley Spring Water. Oh,
No, exactly, can't do that. There's got a conflict.
Yeah.
I'm talking for myself.
Well, Mountain Dew not about to give me.
Selfish.
All right, let's go ahead and start with the folks on the Zooms. Jack.
Hi, Jack Levenberg, WNBA lead. You all went to the line 35 times tonight. Asia, you went 9 times. What were you doing, or what were you seeing out there that you were able to get to the free throw line so much?
Just attacking the basket. People attack us all the time, so we had to flip the script on them a little bit and attack them. Get to the line, build some momentum, and get some free points.
Thank you.
Aislinn?
Hey, Jackie. Coach Hammon said earlier, you're the calm when stressful situations. Would you agree with that statement? And how do you describe yourself as a player during those stressful situations?
So sorry, Ashlyn. 'cause
Yeah, Aislinn, you're breaking up a little on us. The internet connection's a little sketchy here. Can you try again?
Yeah, I can try again. Sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Okay, not your fault.
Okay. Yeah, my room's in the basement, so it's pretty bad down here. Okay, Jackie, can you talk about how you play during stressful situations, since Coach Hammond earlier said you're like the calm during stressful situations?
Yeah, I just try to stay calm, be composed. Coming in and try to it's in there.
Christos?
Hello, ladies. Congratulations on the win. Kelsey, how you feel this group become better and better as the season goes on, and how important for you to win games despite the outcome and struggles during the game?
I don't think we did a very good job closing today. We had a big lead and we took our foot off the gas. I mean, they scored 70 points in the second half? That's embarrassing. So to answer your question, we kind of sucked.
especially the third quarter.
Yeah, third quarter was
Like,
brutal.
We can't come out. We can't come out on both ends of the basketball and play like that and expect for it to just be a easy win or easy dub, no matter who we're playing against. And when it comes to New York, they're gonna keep playing. We can't let up at all. And third quarter is very important. We always talk about winning the quarter, and we lost both at the end. So that first quarter actually saved us, and we can't put ourselves in that situation anymore. So we got to find out ways to fix that.
To the room. Mr. Howard?
Kelsey, Jackie, one for both of you. Jackie, you are leading the league in minutes played, minutes per game so far this year. Kelsey, you're third. I know in both cases you guys have been eager for the opportunity to be able to be playing this much, but I guess I just wonder how you think that balance needs to be going forward, heading into the playoffs in what is obviously both 36-game season and a truncated season in terms of how many days are in.
We play a lot of minutes. We have Bay's getting back to who she is, and we'll really use her, and Ellie's been big for us too. So I think Becky's gonna rotate them in more, so we will play a little bit less minutes.
And yes, Kelsey, just to your perspective on this, Coach Stark, it's very tough to take either of you out, and obviously you're not seeing any diminishing returns. You guys are coming up with strong fourth quarters, especially on the offensive end all year as well. It's different for you though. It's 9 minutes more per game. Are you noticing or feeling a difference? And is that something you think is important to dial back even slightly between now and say August 14th?
I mean, if I'm keeping it real, I was complaining last year about not playing enough minutes, so.
You got your wish.
Yeah, exactly, right. So I'd be a hypocrite if I was like, oh, Becky, like, can't handle it. No, I mean, Jackie and I put in a lot of work in the off season to prepare our bodies for this. So, strength wise and conditioning wise, and Jackie's as good as anyone. I like keeping up with her. She eats clean. She goes to bed. She takes naps. Like, I try to do the same thing. So I feel like, honestly, for us, no comment over here. No, but for us, like, we're competitors, and I mean, I know I don't get tired, and I know she doesn't either. So we're prepared, whatever our team needs to do to win. He didn't ask about you.
I know, I'm just listening to this.
Jackie, talk a little more about the free throw shooting. Becky said that it's not easy to hit key free throws down the stretch on the road in front of a hostile crowd. You guys did it in 34-35. You made, I think, 8 in the final 33 seconds. Just your mindset going in knowing that those free throws are pretty big because they're making that run, hitting every shot in the wall.
Yeah, I knew we needed them, but at the end of the day, I just try to stay calm and just act like it's a free throw if it was in the first quarter. And so I know at the end of the games, I'm going to have the ball, and if they're fouling, I'm going to have to knock down free throws. So I just try to stay calm and composed.
And to ask you, you did something tonight that we see very few teams do. You held Sabrina Nestor and Tasha Howard, like basically in 10 points, well into the third quarter. In your opinion, what did you guys do to keep them in the wraps? Because that's never really been done all season.
It's just one of those things, just the way the game goes. Honestly, I don't think we game plan them any differently. It's just one of those nights. But at the same time, they finished with 20 and 27. So it's like, yeah, we did great in those stretches, but they still got to their spots. And I mean, that's on us just defensive wise, is continue to be a presence, continue to make it hard for them. I mean, we're in this league for a reason. So we're in this because we know how to get a lot of spots. We're a pro at that. So if we could just get it out of someone's hands or make them change a shot or anything, that's big for us. But I mean, we didn't really game plan on shutting anyone down.
So to piggyback off that, specifically Dearica, after everything that you went through last season, being in the front of the team, being facing the team, would you say there's like a calm, saying basically, because it seems like when I see you guys, I see the same things as Scott, is a calm. Basically, you know how good your team is, you know what you guys have to do in situations, no matter how critical it gets, you guys see calm, because it's part of the course of where you're trying to get to, especially the way things ended last year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, at the same time, we have a target on our back, but we don't really have a monkey on our back because we haven't won anything. We're playing this game just like every other team. We were probably gonna get everyone's best game, but at the end of the day, our core and who we are as inside is us. It's just us. You get what you get. We don't switch up on anything. We try to stick together as much as we can. But yeah, I think so. We don't really, it's a lot of pressure on the outside, but when it comes in that locker room, we lean on one another. And at the end of the day, that's all we got, and that's all we need. So we're gonna make sure we try to execute the best way we can and get the wins.
Ever close this out.
All right, a question for each of you. So Kelsey, talk about how important this win was, especially after last game against the Liberty, even after they tried to make a run, still being able to hold strong.
Yeah, I mean, Becky talked about setting the tone for post All-Star break. It's kind of like a new season, and I thought that we had some really good stretches, but we've still yet to string together 4 quarters of really good basketball. We've done it in a half, we've done it in a quarter. We haven't done it consecutively for 4 quarters. So, as a team, we understand that if we want to get to where we want, like at the end of the season, we got to be more consistent. And I think that that's something that we're working on. But yeah, I mean, a win is a win. We got to learn from it because we know that they're coming in hot on Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just talk about how important it is for this team to go 50% from the field.
I mean, it's very important. It's good for us when we play good basketball. It's kind of not a sigh of relief, but it's always good when you can shoot the basketball pretty well. It kind of gives you a cushion in a way. But at the same time, we got to understand that just the flow of the game in basketball, guys, you never know. So we've been on both sides of it. So it's kind of good when we can shoot above 50 and still kind of hold it down. So I'll take that any day.
Yeah, and Jackie, bit of a more fun question about All-Star Weekend. Now, saw a little thing about and double teaming is talk about that and what that experience is like too.
Yeah, I guess they planned this in the locker room. I have no idea, but yeah, I wasn't on the team, but yeah, they wanted to make it tough on me. I'm just glad I scored 2 points, but I had fun. It's fun getting to play against them, since I always played with them, but yeah, it was all fun. Yeah, it was all fun and games.
She can't even say that real.
Politically correct. I love it.
Didn't look like fun.
Thanks a lot, ladies. We will let you guys go and see you Thursday bright and early. 1 o'clock tip here in New York, 10 a.m. back on the West Coast. Thank you.
Locked On Women's Basketball is brought to you by BetOnline.net. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. For instance, if you cared to bet on the Las Vegas Aces and they've convinced you that they are going to win the championship, well, they're plus 165 right now. They are right now the betting favorite at BetOnline.net, ahead of even Chicago, Seattle, or Connecticut. Something I respect and love about what BetOnline.net is doing, even though I'm not a bettor myself, is that they have the odds for women's basketball. They have it for NCAA. They have it for the WNBA. They are not just a place where you can bet on men's sports. And equalizing the playing field means supporting the places that equalize it in just that way. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. Bet online, where the game starts. So what did we learn here today from the Las Vegas Aces? Well, they're going to go with what they have. We all you need. And you heard it from Asia herself. It's hard to argue. There's a reason why they're the betting line favorite right now, right? This is a team star-studded. We talked up top, 5 of the top 25 in minutes per game. But look at who we're talking about. We're talking about Jackie Young with a true shooting percentage of 61.4 and Kelsey Plum, true shooting percentage of 58.3. Both of them on plenty of volume. Couple of absolute stars in this league. There's a reason they didn't get to rest this weekend. They were too busy at All-Star. Asia Wilson is a former MVP, not that former, 2020, who is capable of doing whatever it takes to win and is willing to do whatever it takes to sublimate her game in order to make sure her team wins a championship. It's why she's here. Chelsea Gray, I think if you asked most coaches around the league, who are you picking as your first point guard, and you could choose anyone, either be Vandersloot or Gray. She's certainly there, and depending on what you need, plenty of people would pick Chelsea Gray. It makes sense. Dearica Hamby finally starting. I don't get to write that Dearica Hamby 6th Woman of the Year story anymore, but that's okay. She's earned it. She deserves it. Just a jack of all trades. Delightful to watch that team. So Becky's right. There are more people she can rely on the bench. It's happening, but this is the Vegas Aces team that will sink or swim over the next 6, 7, 8 weeks. It'll be fascinating to see it. And so while we do, we thank you for listening to Locked On Women's Basketball. You make sure you check us out tomorrow. It's going to be a New York Liberty-centric show with Jackie Powell and live from Barclays Center. So really going to enjoy that. Have a very good time. Give you a quick take reaction to what the last 2.5 days will have been for the Liberty. And I'm sure we'll get some Aces talk in there as well. But something you ought to know is that for your second listen, there is a lead where Becky Hammon came from the San Antonio Spurs. It's called the NBA. And you can get up to date on the latest news and rumors in the NBA in just 30 minutes every day. There is Madison Square Garden, as I understand it, still hosts a professional basketball team. They're just called the Knicks, and they play in the NBA. And apparently they might have a chance of getting Donovan Mitchell, who you probably best know as a New York Mets superfan. So make sure you listen to Locked On NBA each and every day after Locked On Women's Basketball. I'll be back with you tomorrow. It's always delightful chatting women's hoops with you. I am Howard Megdal. founder and editor of The Next, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, wishing you a wonderful Wednesday.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.